Hey coin collectors, Dan the Collecting Man here. Today I've got two very unique coins out of the Perth Mint, something that I think is going to become very collectible in the long term. But I think at the moment there's definitely some people that like this design and some people that don't like this design. So this is the Perth Mint's 125 year anniversary Sovereign. So obviously the Perth Mint is kind of famous for the sovereigns that it made in the past. So I thought let's go through. I've got the full sovereign and the quarter sovereign as part of a collection. They are quite limited and definitely I think quite unique. So we can start off with the box here. So it's definitely very similar to the boxes they've been making with the magnet kind of top, but this one has a non-see-through one with this almost like gold gilded top on here. So it looks pretty nice from the outset from this aspect. So let's get into having a look at the coin first, because that's what we want to see. So we've got here first a certificate of authenticity from the Perth Mint. So you can see here this is a very low mintage, so got a nice little even number there. So in this format, sold individually, only 2,000 of these sovereigns are going to be sold. So that is for me a very low number from a sovereign. So as you can see here, it's got 91.67 pure gold in the actual coin itself. It is an actual coin, and it definitely has the Perth Mint 125 on there, and we're looking at a 0.235 of a troy ounce when it comes to gold. So this one retailed at around 1,295. So it's definitely not a cheap coin to get, but I think it's going to be one of those that is very collectible. So as you can see here, this is like a variation of the famous St. George and the Dragon. So I'll show you it compared to the original St. George and the Dragon and how it compares to that, to a sovereign that I got a couple of years ago, compared to this, just to have a look at it. So I think some of the key things to note and look at is we've got a naked soldier wielding a knife, and it's kind of like a lizard in the bottom left there. So what they're saying is a naked warrior on horseback brandishing a sword above the defeated dragon. So it's definitely something that's kind of different from that aspect. But it's pretty cool. I love it how it's got just Australia at the top, and you got 2024 there, and you got the P125 as you can see in the middle there. So very small kind of coin. So from a gold point of view, it's definitely got a little bit of gold, but I think from this point of view, so it's a $25 denomination coin from that aspect, but I'll compare it to an original sovereign that I've got. So this one here is the one that I bought a few years ago. This is from the Royal Mint in the UK. This one was another special edition sovereign that came out, and I'll compare it to the boxes that you get. So first you get a leather outer box that comes out. You get the booklet, like that's pretty standard, but then you get this beautiful wooden box that comes in it like that. So you can see that in the gloss that comes in that. So from a way of presenting it, I think given that on this one was specific to the Coronation, was absolutely amazing. This one did have a high mintage, but let's have a look at it. So first it pops out like this, so you can actually make that as a stand. So it's got that magnetic kind of stand perspective. But let's have a look at the sovereign and compare it. So you'll notice also the color in the gold. There'll be quite a bit of a difference in the colors of gold. So let's get those two out. But this has the original St. George and the Dragon design on it, where this is obviously a different design. So they're the key two takeouts. Again, you still got the date down the bottom, which is quite specific, but I love it how we've got the Australian at the top. As we can see here, also it's on the reverse in some regards. So the warrior is facing to the left, not to the right like the original one. So they've obviously put it back to front in that regards, but at least this one you can kind of see the dragon / lizard easier, where in this original description it's a little bit harder to see that kind of design. But here he's got the cape and he's got all like the knight kind of set up there. So having a look at this side, obviously the key difference here this is the UK coin, so it's a slightly different obverse, but this also has the coronation crown on it, which makes it a bit more collectible, because that is you don't see many king's effigies with the crown on top of it, so that's pretty unique and pretty cool to have. But I think having both of these are going to be quite collectible. I'd love in the comments below, do you like collecting the proof like sovereigns, or you like just collecting just the gold bullion version? So I've also got this quarter sovereign, so I thought I'd have a look at that and compare it, and then I'll go through some of the other Perth Mint 125-year coins, because I've definitely been collecting those. So as we can see, you've got quarter sovereign. This one here is at 3000 mintage, so it's a little bit higher mintage when it comes to the coins. Obviously it's a lot cheaper from that aspect. So as you can see here, max of 3000. Got a nice little low number as well, which is something that you want to see. Ideally you want to see it below 100, but that's still pretty cool. And as we can see here, this is definitely a lot smaller. So this was $374 for this one here, but I think it's something that's going to be pretty cool to get these little sovereigns as well. So definitely this is a $5 coin, as we can see here. Same design, everything's the same on it, but it's just a lot smaller point of view. And I think with the cost of gold going up in the future, it's something that's pretty unique. So some of the other Perth Mint 125-year coins that I've got so far, this one is a pure platinum coin that I've purchased. So this is a 1 ounce of platinum. I'm definitely looking in the next month to get a pure gold one of those. We also had the proof version, so I sent mine off to grading, and I was lucky enough to get a perfect score of 70. So top score for that, which makes it absolutely beautiful to have this proof version of the Perth Mint 125 years. I've definitely been collecting like the book. This is the Perth Mint book with the sovereign kind of almost embossed in the actual book itself, so comes up really nice, and it actually covers off a little bit about the sovereign itself within the book, and it can go through there the prices. Obviously you can get yourself a double sovereign there for $2,500 there, but definitely for me, I think it's pretty unique and cool, and it does cover off a little bit of detail, and you can obviously get some of the older sovereigns and a full set of sovereigns if you've got a spare $11,000 hanging around as well. And it also goes through the designer, which I think is something pretty cool. So you get to understand why the designer changed the actual original design to make it something quite unique and specific. So if you ever haven't got these books before, you can get these from the Perth Mint. They're definitely pretty cool, and you just sign up to get the books. So some of the other key ones that we've had is this one here. This is the 2 ounce gold gilded one. This one has definitely already gone up in price because it was so limited at $2,500 and sold out, and people are paying a little bit more of a price to get those. I think one that is going to be collectible in the long term but still not sold out yet is this 4 coin type set. So obviously it was quite pricey when it came out, but these two here are only limited to $2,500. So obviously you've got the proof coin and we've got the bullion version, but these two here in the middle are very collectible because of the low mintage, and I think the design is going to be something that people are going to really enjoy in the long term itself. So I'd love to know from your feedback, what's your favorite Perth Mint 125-year coin? Is there been any specifics that you've been collecting from yourself? Do you like the sovereigns that they've done, or what do you think about the sovereigns? Do you think they've ruined the sovereign and it won't be collectible? For me, I think this is something that having a Perth Mint sovereign that will be looked back on as something quite unique. I think when there's change, people don't like it initially, but I think in the long term, people are going to enjoy this design and look to collect it because it is a slight different variation to the very standard sovereign that we've come to used to with St. George and the Dragon on the actual design. We've also just seen recently the Royal Mint do another variation of the St. George and the Dragon in a silver coin. So there's people doing all sorts of variations of the original one, but I think this is, for me, it actually stands out a little bit. You can really see that design, and I'll show a good image now on the screen of the design and how it absolutely pops out. So I think it's pretty unique, and I just love the way it comes out. So give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, if you enjoy the sovereigns, if you want to looking to buy them. I think the full sovereigns are nearly sold out, so they look like they're pretty close to being sold out. I'm going to say at a mintage of 2000, that's definitely something that I think people will be going back on in time to collect that special edition sovereign. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to Dan the Collecting Man, make sure you get that subscription in. I've got some really cool coins and things coming up very, very soon, including some stuff coming from the Hobart Mint, which is a very new mint that's opened up, and they're making some very unique silver bars and silver coins, and they've also got a bit of gold there, so I'm looking forward to sharing some of those bits of silver once I get them. And thanks so much for watching and joining the coin collecting community. I'll catch you on my next video. Dan.